Boom, what's up you guys? It's Royce Jacob, and welcome back to the channel. AMD stock is looking incredibly bullish from both a fundamental and technical perspective as we kick off the second half of 2025. And in this video, I want to talk to you about why. So, we're going to kick it off by reading over this recent CNBC article by Salvador Rodriguez titled AMD shares rise 9% after analysts say they expect a snapback for the chip maker. I'm probably going to title this video something concerning Nvidia. You tell me what I end up titling it. But AMD, just to clarify this right off the bat, I don't think AMD will ever grow to the scale of Nvidia or surpass Nvidia. The companies are at two very, very different points in their businesses, and I do not see a future in which, personally at least, I don't see a future in which AMD surpasses Nvidia as the top dog or number one within this within the chipmaker space or processor space. Okay, so that said, I think that this stock has some major catching up to do in the sense of what it's doing on the charts and kind of how this is being valued. It is still trading at a much higher PE than Nvidia, with a price to earnings ratio of 93. I think Nvidia is currently around a 40 or 50. You can fact check me on that for sure. But again, I just want to preface this video and kind of all the bullish sentiment that I'm going to be talking about in regard to AMD by saying that I don't think this is literally the next Nvidia, but I do think that this stock's showing a lot of promise, again, fundamentally and technically, and my money is where my mouth is on that front. If you guys are trading with me in the portfolio, in the Waze portfolio, you would know that our AMD call options have already provided us with a near 3x return. So, and I'm still holding some because, as you'll find out here soon, I'm still really bullish on this company. So, that said, before we dive into this article and before we dive into the charts, if you guys want a complete breakdown of my entire portfolio, call options, put options, stock positions, common share positions, then it's the first link in the description of this video. Along with my entire portfolio, you'll also receive my daily trade alerts and portfolio analysis newsletters. Okay, that's going to be the first link in the description of the video or in the pinned comment that I'll post on this video. To hit this link, it's $15 a month, $40 for every 3 months. Try it free if you want to, and just peace out if you don't like it. But the reason I do free trials is because I'm so confident in the product that I provide. And again, you can just always unsub if you're not liking it, okay? But that said, I trust you'll be sticking around if you give it a shot. Prospective members or existing members, please drop a comment about your experience below because it gives prospective members just a little reinforcement, okay? A little external validation, okay? Anyway, welcome to the winning team if you do join. If not, I appreciate you still watching this video, and I do hope you gain some value from it. So let's get to reading key points. Analysts at Piper Sandler wrote in a note on Monday that they expect a snapback for AMD's GPU business in the fourth quarter. That's when the analysts expect the chip maker should be through the bulk of the $800 million in charges that AMD said it would incur due to exports to China. Last week, AMD unveiled a full server rack called Helios that enables thousands of the chips to be tied together. Okay, the analysts said that they see a snapback for AMD's graphics processing units or GPUs in the fourth quarter. That's when they expect the chip maker to be through that, which we just read. Last week, AMD revealed its next generation AI chips, the Instinct MI400 series. Notably, the company unveiled a full server rack called Helios that enables thousands of the chips to be tied together. That chip system is expected to be the important for AI customers such as cloud companies and developers for large language models. AMD CEO Lisa Su showed the products on stage at an event in San Jose, California, alongside OpenAI CEO Sam Altman, Greg Cosine, who said they sounded totally crazy. Overall, we are enthused with the product launches at the AMD event this week, specifically the Helios rack, which we think is pivotal for AMD Instinct growth, the analysts wrote in their note. Piper Sandler raised its price target for AMD's share price from $1.25 to $140. The stock jumped past 126 on Monday to close at its highest level since January 7th, before President Trump announced sweeping new tariffs and AMD warned of chip control charges. Okay, so in the portfolio, the primary reason that I established this AMD position was not only the technicals, which we'll talk about why this chart looks so bullish in a second from both a short-term and longer-term perspective, but it was that advancing AI event. And I think that's that advancing AI event, which kind of had a delay due to just the jump in share price. We had a 10% jump in AMD stock on Monday of this past week, which was a few days later. The advancing AI event itself took place on Thursday, and due to some geopolitical issues and some sell the news, buy the hype, sell the news action, it really took a couple of days for investors, I think, to digest the contents of that. So thankfully, with Wavescap, we did stand strong. We held down, we held our position even through some of that short-term uncertainty, and it really paid off because, again, those call options we had absolutely exploded to over 200% on Monday alone. Okay, and as we look at the chart here, I'll explain why I think they can go higher, because AMD is looking very, very promising, again, from both a short and long-term perspective. We'll kick it off with the short to medium term. We're using 4-hour candles. You guys know that for swing trading on, a few days to, if you're talking about the week you're trading, okay, so a few days, 4-hour candles are my favorites, and like I think by far the best candles to trade in the short term based on. So looking at the shorter term, you can see that AMD is holding a very solid. That was the bear trap right there following the event, but mostly solid ascending channel on a short-term time horizon dating back to April of this year, so more medium term, but still holding this channel. You can see here that after the 10% move, we have been going sideways a little bit, getting ready for what I believe will be a second wave up pretty soon here. Definitely in the week ahead before the month of June ends. I think some of these targets right here will be tested, and I think it will be sooner than later, because as you can see here, AMD has retested this line of broken resistance as new support. If you watch my trader tips video talking about my favorite technical pattern, that is a members only YouTube video, $5 a month if you want to join. That's the join button is right below this video. But you guys would know that this is one of my favorite patterns and one of my favorite technicals to trade on in general. Okay, broken lines of resistance being used as new support. The same thing works vice versa. Okay, so I do think the next wave is coming. I do think that we will end up testing ultimately one of these targets. I will personally be taking significant profits once and if we do see this central line, what I call this line of conservative resistance on this overall ascending channel, this medium-term ascending channel tested, which would result in, potentially, if we do see it, over the next week or so, that would result in about a 145 share price for AMD. So that wouldn't surprise me at all, especially when we zoom out here. And that's when things get really bullish, okay? So the primary reason from a technical perspective that I picked up AMD was because AMD has finally broken above this massive line of the long-term resistance that's been in place since all the way back in March of 2024, which is AMD's all-time high at about 226, okay? So massive correction. You can see here, when did this happen? Early this month, AMD managed to break above this line of macro long-term resistance right here, came up already, almost immediately retested this line of broken resistance as new support, which I love to see. Check off that box. And now we're on our way back up. Okay, so zooming out, my final profit target for these AMD call options, this isn't to say that we can't go higher in the future, but my overall profit target, where I'll really solidify the win on this AMD position, is going to be this line of super long-term support, okay? You can see here, AMD was holding a line of support 1, 2, 3, 4 touch points, visible touch points, 5, 6 actually over here. Very large line of, this line of support has been in place since October of 2022. And it's crazy that once this was broken below, it wasn't tested. It has yet to be tested as new resistance. You guys, if you don't believe in the validity of this pattern, then just watch for yourself. Watch how this unfolds over the coming months. I do, again, I have the trader tips video. If you don't want to watch that, just wait to see how this unfolds for AMD, because I have a very, very high level of confidence in the idea that over the summer, okay, maybe this doesn't happen tomorrow, maybe this doesn't happen this week, maybe it doesn't happen this month, but in the months ahead, over the weeks and months ahead, I think that AMD will make its way up to this line of broken long-term resistance. This will come into play as new support. if we test this, by mid-July, July 14th, that could potentially result in a $155 AMD share price. Okay? So, again, nothing's guaranteed, but my money's where my mouth is. Lastly, before we call it, join the team. If you want, again, my daily newsletters, if you want kind of daily breakdowns of AMD, because this is one of my big 4 call options positions in the Waves portfolio, then, hit the link in my pinned comment, hit the link in the description of this video, and again, welcome to the winning team if you do join. I appreciate you guys watching. Drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about AMD. Let me know if you think this the new Nvidia correlation is whack. Let me know whatever you're feeling. Okay. Always like talking shop with you guys. Sorry, I'm stumbling. I've been talking a lot today. I already recorded 2 videos. So thank you for watching. I'll catch you next time. And until then, always remember, take action, make waves. Peace.